Good rising, brethren. This is Big Judah, coming to you guys from California. Before I begin, all praise is to the Most High, Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother, who is wisdom, who is the Holy Spirit. Acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. Praise the Most High blesses this lesson this morning, gives more knowledge and understanding of the events of the past, in order to understand the events that are currently happening on the earth. So we get a much better understanding of things that are soon to come on the earth. This is very important because we really need to understand what did happen in the past and where it happened in order to understand what is going to come in the near future. And we're going to be getting into we're going to review a couple of things and put some more of these puzzle pieces together. I did a video on this before, but the book of Enoch right here. Now, let's go forward here to this picture. The return of the dove, or the return of the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is going to return first here to the Americas. And if you look at what's going on in the news, you can easily see that. Look at where judgment is falling first across the world. It seems to be falling right here, as it is said right here in the book, where it says the return of the dove. Well, we have also proven that there is no archaeological evidence to prove that the events of Genesis and Exodus and Leviticus and Joshua, Deuteronomy, that any of that happened over in the so-called Middle East. Now, if we got to remember now, the people were enslaved in the book of Exodus. Okay, they were taken out of slavery. All right, so all these events didn't happen there, so they must have happened somewhere else. So fast forward to today, our people have been enslaved. They've served their punishment, and they're being released right now through the power of the Most High. Now we always hear people talking about the earthly mother and the Holy Spirit's not female and this and that. Well, we're going to read a little bit from the Bible, from the Apocrypha, from the Wisdom, okay, Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 10, letting you know that the Most High's already unleashed the Holy Spirit before to take the people out of bondage, and right here it's saying that the Holy Spirit is going to be released again, starting in the Americas. Now you see this plague that seems to, they can't seem to get a hold of here, but on the other parts of the world, they seem to be able to get a hold of it. That's because judgment is falling here in the Americas first. We served the majority of our bondage here in the Americas, and that's where the Most High is going to start the unleashing of His people, taking them out of bondage, and the removal of the other nations, just like it talks about in Joel 2. This corresponds with what's happening in the heavenlies as well. When you saw the first line go across the United States in 2017, and then you're going to see the other one is going to make the X in Makanda in 2024. You see all these signs happening here. Yeah, the other nations are getting it too with floods and other devastating things that are occurring in their lands, but there's going to be more to it. But this is key right here. When you see the dove, that means the return of the Holy Spirit, the return of the earthly mother to set her children free. Now, I also went to the older Bible that I have. It's about over 200 years old, and I took a copy of some of Wisdom of Solomon chapter 10. But if you look on the right-hand side, you're looking at things that were happening in the book of Exodus. So they were taken from the book of Exodus. Okay, got those Psalms there also. But the whole thing is the main point is that this happened in Egypt. Okay, so we realize now that Egypt over there was not, was not known about till like the 1790s. So when these events were happening, that Egypt was not in existence. That's why they keep on saying, now that we're saying he's not white, he's Middle Eastern. They're still trying to continue with their lies, and they're still trying to push the Middle East as far as being the Holy Land. But we're going to get into reading a little bit here Okay, let me get it here. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 10. Let's start at 6. Actually, no. We'll start at 1. She preserved the first formed father of the world that was created alone, and brought him out of his fall, and gave him power to rule all things. But when the unrighteous went away from her in his anger, okay, he perished also in the fury wherewith he murdered his brother. For whose cause the earth being drowned with the flood, wisdom again preserved it, and directed the course of the righteous in a piece of wood of small value. Moreover, the nations in their wicked conspiracy being confounded, she found out the righteous, and preserved him blameless unto the Most High, and kept him strong, okay, against his tender compassion toward his son. Okay. When the ungodly perished, she delivered the righteous man, who fled from the fire, which fell down upon the 5 cities, of whose wickedness, even to this day, the wasteland that smoketh is a testimony, and plants bearing fruit that never come to ripeness, and a standing pillar of salt is a monument of an unbelieving soul. For regarding not wisdom, they got not only this hurt, that they knew not the things which were good, but also left behind them to the world a memorial of their foolishness, so that in the things wherein they offended, they could not so much as be hid. But wisdom delivered from pain those that attended upon her. Okay. When the righteous fled from his brother's wrath, she guided him in right paths, showed him the kingdom of the Most High, and gave him knowledge of holy things, made him rich in his travels, and multiplied the fruits, okay, the fruit of his labors. Okay, this is huge. It's good information showing you that she did this, she did this, she did this. Okay, talking about the Holy Spirit. The Most High sends the Holy Spirit to help us, to protect us, to give us all the things that we need, and to teach us about what is pleasing to the Father. Okay, 11. In the covetousness of such as oppressed him, she stood by him and made him rich. She defended him from his enemies, and kept him safe from those that lay in wait. And in a sore conflict she gave him the victory, that he might know that goodness is stronger than all. So as you can see, she's the one that's giving victory. She's the one that's giving us all these things, that to protect us from all the evil that is surrounding us. So now does it make sense of what's happening right here? The return of the dove, and it's happening right here in the Americas. She is right here. She is with us right now. The Most High has sent her back. And that's why you're seeing all these things happening around us. You're seeing the fall of the society that has kept us in slavery this entire time. Okay. 13. When the righteous was sold, she forsook him not, but delivered him from sin. Okay. She went down with him into the pit, and left him not in bonds, till she brought him the scepter of the kingdom, and power against those that oppressed him. As for them that had accused him, she showed them to be liars, and gave him perpetual glory. So the Holy Spirit, has been wrapped up in all the events that were happening all through Wisdom of Solomon chapter 10. All the events that we've been going through as of lately, all the things that have been going on for the last 500 plus years. She's been still working for us. Okay. 15. She delivered the righteous people and blameless seed from the nation that oppressed them. She entered into the soul of the servant of the Lord, and withstood dreadful kings and wonders and signs. Rendered to the righteous a reward of their labors, guided them in a marvelous way, and was unto them for a cover by day, and a light of stars in the night season. See, like I said, the Most High is given, she's in control down here to do the Most High's will to help us. That's how it was in the past, and that's how it is going to be. That's how it is right now, and continue to be in the future until the Most High changes it. Okay, let's see. She 18 brought them through the Red Sea, okay, and led them through much water. But she drowned their enemies and cast them up out of the bottom of the deep. Therefore, the righteous spoiled the ungodly, okay, and praised thy holy name, O Lord, and magnified with one accord thine hand that fought for them, okay. For wisdom opened the mouth of the dumb and made the tongues of them that cannot speak eloquent. So as you can see, the Holy Spirit was key in all the things that happened to us, in Exodus, during the first Exodus, during the destruction, for the destruction of our enemies. It talks right here of the return of the dove. This makes, it's showing this book here to be true, because this is exactly what you're seeing right now. You're seeing the destruction of our enemies. You're seeing the downfall of their society. You're seeing the Most High send the Holy Spirit to take away the power of our enemies. And he's also, he's just he's destroying them, and they're so upset. But like I said, but they are so blind that they can't understand why this is happening. They're trying to blame everything but their actions. They're not taking, but the Most High is not letting them see it. But that's why I wanted to let you guys see how this all works out. Like I said, here, Wisdom of Solomon chapter 10, if you look on the side, you look at the precepts, it's talking a lot about the book of Exodus right there. Look up the stuff yourself. All right, look up Psalms right there. All right, so you can see that on your own. This has happened before. We showed how it did not happen over there in the so-called Middle East. They have not proven anything happened over there. That they can't prove that Abraham was there. Can't prove that Egypt was there. Can't prove that Joshua overtook the cities over there. So if it didn't happen over there, you need to find out where it did happen. So fast forward to today. The Most High said, it's after our 400 years in Genesis 15:13 that He was going to destroy the nation that had us in captivity. Is He not destroying this nation that had us in captivity? Were we not enslaved here in the Americas? So now you're seeing why the things are happening here in Americas, and it has nothing to do with the little stuff that they're making up. The Most High is showing you exactly what's going on. He is recompense. His recompense for what they did to the Most High's chosen people. All praise is the Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother, who is wisdom, who is the Holy Spirit. Acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. Shalom.